Hey everybody, welcome to Question of the Week for what's today? Friday. It's November 22nd, 2024. I hope you're having a great week. My name is Sean Tierney from Insights and Automation. And this every week I like to do this. I may not do it next week because Friday is a holiday here in the United States. I was toying with maybe doing it Wednesday, but I don't think that's going to work out because it just got so much going on. So let's go ahead and jump into excuse me. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's show. And a couple things I want to cover with you before we actually jump right into the questions. Actually, I have questions for you this week. The first thing, I probably should come back up here. The first thing is, yeah, it doesn't work when you click on the other browser. The first thing is, there will not be any Friday Q&A for members after this show. Instead, I'm going to do an after show, Automation Podcast after show. So the reason is I didn't have a lot of questions this week, and I suspect as we get closer to the holidays, we find that a lot of people really drop out. Like they stop doing their normal routine. They're shopping. They're going to holiday parties and all kinds of stuff. So I do see a drop off of questions coming in. So I figured there's a lot I wanted to say about the podcast. So I figured I'd come in and do an after show instead for the members. So with that said, now let's see if we can get this to work. And we will go over to, that is not what's supposed to be up. Okay. So I did want to let you guys know of a couple things before we get into the questions. First of all, we did drop a new podcast I did with Copia about their AI Copilot and how it can document, convert, and write PLC code. This is the subject of the after show I'll be doing for members right after this show. The other thing we dropped this week was SLC 500 migrations compared, Soft PLC versus Studio 5000. This is something that people from Soft PLC approached me and they said, hey, Sean, you got to try out our new converter. It's built into our software. And so they sponsored this episode to make it ad free. If you haven't seen that, check it out. I go through all the soup and nuts and everything that you have to do on both of them. And I got to say, there's a lot of advantages to the Soft PLC option. If you don't already have a plant full of ControlLogix, or you don't have any ControlLogix experts on staff. Now, from there, let me refresh this because you're going to see the question of the week and the after show pop up here. This computer is still a little bit slower than the others, but there we go. Okay, so I forgot to put a thumbnail on this guy. Yeah, it's just me here. So I'll have to add a thumbnail to that guy. But then this is the show that's coming on right after. You can watch that show here or at theautomationblog.com. So with that, let's get into the questions. So we actually had 3 questions, all based around TIA Portal from last week. And the first one was, hey, what's the release date? You guys didn't have the release date. And I'm like, that's a great question. I would have thought it was already released if we were doing a show on it. But it was really just, it was a lot of things. So in any case, I did reach out to Siemens and I said, hey, what's the release date of TIA Portal version 20? And John came back and said December 5th. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then somebody else, now some of the links I tried to pull out of his slide and use in the release didn't work. And this was a quick turnaround. Like we did the show and then like a day or two later I released it. So there was not a lot of time between. Usually I don't do that, but I wanted to get, it was sponsored and I wanted to get it out before the holidays. So in any case, sponsored meaning it's ad free. So in any case, so the next question that came in was, where is the document? Where is the PDF document talking about all the features? And I'm actually looking for that myself, and I know a lot of people were as well. And so, yeah, where is that document? So apparently that stuff's all coming out today. Siemens says that when I got back, I was not there this morning, or I'd already put the links up there. But what I heard from Siemens was that that is already there today, or will be coming out today. And when I get the links, I will post them up. And then the last thing is this question. I thought this was interesting because I didn't know anything about this. And this user asked, a member of the audience asked, hey, can you confirm if sequences were removed from PLC Sim 18? I know we were just talking about 20, but I'm like, what is sequences? I've never used them. And of course, I'm newer to Siemens and newer to PLC Sim. And so I asked some of my Siemens contacts, and all I got was crickets. So I'm like, they probably like me, they don't know what it is. And so this nice gentleman, he actually answered his own question. He came back and said, hey, I found they finally added it to version 18 Service Pack 2. So apparently this is a feature that was yanked and then put back in. It's a pretty cool feature though, because it allows you to create sequences to simulate your machine. I thought that was really cool. And if I do this correctly, I have a picture of what it looks like. And this was, again, posted by a member of the audience. Thank you very much. But you can see here simulation and, push button Boolean format. You can see push button 2, and it's over here underneath sim table, events, and then sequence. So very cool. I want to play with this more in the future. I just you know, just trying to do everything right. So in any case, so that was that question. So if you were using sequences, let me go bigger on that again. If you're using these simulation sequences inside of TIA Portal version 17, and you went to 18 and you didn't see them there, and then I found quite a few people on Reddit and the Siemens forums asking about this. They did add it in Service Pack 2 of V18. Now, I did not check 19 or 20 to see if they're in there. I would imagine they are, but it seems like a really cool feature if you're using PLC Sim, which is this great free simulator. It's kind of like what Rockwell added to the CCW for the Micrologics, except that it runs as a separate app, which is a nice, and it simulates any of the PLCs, not just one, not just the Micro 50. It simulates all the S7. Well, in my case, 1200 and 1500s are the ones I use. Very cool, and it's free with the software. It's not time limited by 10 minutes or anything like that. So in any case, very cool stuff there. So let's see if this is working. Those are the 3 questions I had for you this week about version 20 and about sequences in PLC Sim. And again, those links will be added to the V20 podcast when I find them. Again, I looked this morning. They're supposed to be out today. I looked this morning. They were not there. I'm just checking all my levels to make sure you guys can hear me. So with that, we didn't have any questions come in on the chat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this show. The question of the week, I want to wish you guys all good health and happiness. And we're going to do the after show for the Automation Podcast for members now. So with that, guys, if I don't talk to you, have a great weekend. See ya. Bye-bye.